Hello, how you doing? I'm going to talk about Chris Rock. Now, I very seldom listen to Chris Rock. I don't. I won't admit that. I don't think he's very funny. I don't like the way he freely uses the N word. He uses that a little bit too much more than I am comfortable with. And if he knew the etymology of that word, he wouldn't use it. If he knew how that word came about and the way they used it during slavery and during the Jim Crow era, and even now, he would not use that word. He wouldn't even say it. You know what? I suggest that he take a trip to Africa to find out who he is, to stop using that word. But I submit to you, Chris Rock has never read a book cover to cover. I submit that to you. But look, I'm suggesting that he read some Black history books. I'm suggesting that he read a slave testimony book. I'm suggesting that he do that. And maybe he'll stop saying that word. But I think white people, why do white people, and I'm not being racist, I'm being real. I'm not racist, I'm real. Why would white people pay $1,000 a ticket to see him in the midst of a pandemic where they need that money for a mortgage or food? Why would they pay $1,000? Because I think they're fascinated by a Black man that denigrates his own race. That puts his own race down, that says the N-word freely. They're fascinated by that. So they're gonna pay $1,000 to hear that. They're gonna take $1,000 to hear a Black man put down his own race and call his own race one of the most derogatory name in history, in human history. Now he's 57 years old, which means he's approaching 60, and he still has not learned to tame his tongue. He still has not learned, well, maybe I shouldn't say this. I'm not going to say this today. You know, if he says something like that at the Oscar, what does he say at, just at a bar? I guess he just plain act the fool at a bar. Okay? He's never learned. And you know what? Since he's over 55, since he's approaching 60, he's never going to learn. He's never going to learn to tame his tongue. It's too late for him to learn. He's too old to learn how to tame his tongue. Now, as I said before, he wouldn't have said that about a white woman. I'm not racist, I'm real. He would not have said that about a white woman. He would not have disrespected a white woman like that. But see, he has the idea, look, Jada's just a Black woman. I can disrespect her because she doesn't matter in the whole scheme of things. And he was raised by a Black woman for the most part. I submit that. He was raised by a Black woman for the most part. But see, he figures he can, who is Jada? She's a nobody. She's a Black woman. She has a chronic illness, so he can say something. He can make fun of a person with a chronic illness. Because she's a Black woman and she don't count in the whole scheme of things. But see, what person would make fun of a person with a chronic illness? An ignorant person, Neanderthal, a cat. And I submit to you, if he had done that in the street, he wouldn't live to tell about it. If he had done that in Appalachia, he wouldn't have lived to tell about it. What kind of person makes fun of a person with a chronic illness? Do you make fun of a person with breast cancer, lung cancer, stomach cancer? Do you make fun of a person with multiple sclerosis? What kind of ignorance is that? He's just worse than I thought. I didn't particularly like him. I don't listen to his dialogue. I try not to. But he's worse than I thought. You know, like I said, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. But he's worse than what I thought. Now, I started going out about 16. You know, when people start going out to different things. And I've always heard that Black people just don't know how to act at formal places. They don't know how to act at banquets. They're going to act up at banquets, at formal dances, semi-formal dances, etc. Proms. They just don't know how to act. I always heard that Black people just don't know how to act. And that's just about true. That is just about true. When you have a lot of Blacks just don't know how to act at formal gatherings. Blacks don't know how to act at gatherings, period. I've heard that since I was 16. Now, at the Oscars, I have heard people use the H word. When Daniel Day-Lewis won the Oscar for My Left Foot, he said it's going to be one H of a night in Dublin. I think people have used the D word. at the Oscars. But that's the first time I've heard people use the F word twice. First time I've heard that. But see, when you snap, and you're not thinking of, well, what's going to be the consequences 2 days from now, 3 days from now, 10 days from now, years from now. You're not thinking about that. When you snap, you snap. You're just going to react. You're going to act. And there's nothing anybody can say or do. When you snap, you have a one-track mind. You're going to take care of this situation. See, when Will Smith snapped, wasn't nothing anybody can do about it. Nobody could stop him. And what he's thinking, he's going to take care of this situation. He's going to not let this man disrespect his wife. He's not going to let this man use his wife as the butt of jokes. He's going to take care of this situation. And look, it did shut Chris up, if only for a few seconds. Okay? But see, why couldn't Chris say, one time out of the year, I will act like I have some sense. One time out of the year, I will act like I have some decorum. I just didn't understand that. But see, look, he disrespected a black woman because, look, black women don't count. But he never would have disrespected a white woman or Indian or Asian. Never would have done it. Okay, so he can't be trusted to go to a formal place. They never should have got him the host of Oscars. They should have got maybe Wanda Sykes or something. Now, Jada had the most spectacular gown of the Oscars. That green, high neckline, it was just the most beautiful gown at the Oscars, period. The most spectacular. Only Jada can look that nice. Only Jada could look that nice and wear something that sophisticated. Only Jada can pull that off. And I would think after that cruel, inhumane joke that, her self-esteem went down just a notch, which was probably the intent of Chris Rock. You see, I don't understand Chris. Why couldn't he just keep his mouth shut for one day, one night out of the year? Oscars only come but one night a year. And for what, 2 or 3 hours or something? Why couldn't he keep his mouth shut for 3 hours? 3 hours out of the whole year. Why is that too much to ask? And he wrote his own material. You can't put the blame on somebody else. He wrote that. He writes his own material. That's what I understand. And Will, this is probably what Will is thinking. As rich as he is, his house is so large, his property is so large that it has its own zip code. And as rich as he is, Will is saying to himself, I still cannot escape bullying. I still cannot escape disrespect. Isn't that the story of a black man's life? No matter how rich he gets, no matter how big a house he gets, he cannot escape a bully. He cannot escape disrespect. And why was it too much to ask Chris to keep his mouth shut for one night? 3 hours of the night, not even 6 hours of the night, for 3 hours of the night, more or less, out of the whole year. Why was it too much to ask of him? Bye.